talk about this because I just don't even want to like, I want to just be an adult and be an evolved person through in this world where we're in front of everyone and it is dramatic and it is fun. And I want people to make videos about things and I want people to like make fun of comedians. I think it's hilarious. It's like, there's a whole economy built around making fun of, I mean, there's people getting way bigger views on this talking about what I do. It's like, not me specifically, but what my job is. And it's like, like, it's funny. It's hilarious. Like, I want to go with how culture is going. I want to like move forward with things and not resist things and be like, back in my day, people didn't used to talk shit on comics. But I also don't want to live in negativity and have my whole, that's not what I came in this to do. I am very good at roasting. Here's the thing. When I started comedy, the thing I loved about it, I used to tour with Jim Norton. I would do Opie and Anthony and in its height, not in its height, Patrice had passed, but it was like, at its last like hurrah of when it was so fun. I was on there with like Jeffrey Tambor once. Like, I mean, I just had a blast. I remember Norton being like, I love Annie Lederman because she's so mean and funny. And it's like, we're just so mean to each other. And it wasn't like my heart is being mean to you. It was like, we are comics and we're roasting each other. We're saying the funniest thing we can say about each other. And we're like eviscerating each other. And the only way you could fail in one of those conversations or one of those hangs is by having your feelings hurt. And then if you had your feelings hurt, we would roast you for that because that's the best part of comedy for me is that you can make fun of shit and you can take these dark things, you can make it funny and we can all be laughing about it together, you know, like instead of holding on to things, being a victim of them, being sad about them and stuff like that. So I think that's what I miss, you know, and then the culture's changed and I'm like, I was put on this earth to make fun of like there's certain things that some of my friends do that are, and these are some of my friends who are like not open to the roasting. Like there's a lot of people that can take it, but there's certain people that their egos, and it's just who they are. It's not even bad, you know, they just don't want you to say anything, even in joke form, negative about them. But those are the people I'm so good at making fun of. Do you know what I mean? Like I just am like, oh, I hate biting my tongue. That's not who I am. I'm someone that just, since I was a kid, I've been a bullshit caller. You know, I remember my mom's chiropractor getting so upset with me because he was doing this thing where I now believe in like energy shit now, but I remember he was like, it was like I was holding a thing that said cheese in it. And then he would like push and if my arm fell down, it meant I was allergic to cheese or something. But I'm like, you're just pushing harder. And I remember I said to him, I was like 11. I went, are you charging by the hour? And my mom was like, Annie. But I always have been someone that just calls stuff out. So now that I'm in this culture where I want to get along with my friends and my colleagues, and I don't want to like, I in no way am sitting here being like, I want to be outing people for whatever's going on in their families and their marriages, okay? I just happen to get myself into some drama like that. And that's not what I want, but I want to be able to make fun of people and like poke at what the truth is. And I want them to do it back to me. And I think I've said this before. I don't know if I've said it on here, but one of my favorite moments on Trash Tuesday was me. Mark Norman was the guest, and I think Khalyla was there too, but she wasn't a part of this conversation. But Esther said Mark had just made a special that was about Chicago, or was in Chicago. So it was called something like Just Off the L or something, which I guess is the train in Chicago. And Esther's from Chicago, so Esther goes, I want to thank you, Mark, because for putting the L on Netflix. And I was like, oh, you've put some L's on TV. And she goes, and then she goes back to me. She goes, well, you haven't put anything on TV. And then Mark Norman goes, she's put some LBs on TV. And it was just so funny because I had just gained so much weight. It was like, all I wanted was someone to make fun of me for that. Like, it was so funny. It was just, to me, it's like such a love language of like a balance between three people and getting each other. It's like, that's what I want. That's like my favorite thing. But you know, obviously I'm not trying to like hurt people's feelings or ever when I'm doing it, but it's like, it's something I haven't had in a while. And maybe it's because I moved to LA and people in LA are more actors and more image conscious. And in New York, but New York became pussies too, a lot of the time. It's just not, my energy is like, just say the thing and say the thing to me. And if it does get serious, let's have that serious conversation. Other people are more reserved than me. Other people aren't like that. So I can see where there's like clashing with that. But I just feel for myself, I feel like I haven't been free.
Do you need groceries? Yes. Does your family agree on which groceries? No. We all like different things, and that's okay.
I've been free as well. I feel like even kind of every time we come on the podcast, there's always like this big elephant in the room that we have to ignore because we just can't talk about it. And there's actually two big elephants in the room that we just have to ignore because we can't talk about it, or because we just don't want to just bring up shit. We don't want to start shit.
I want to move forward, right? But there are these things that are like these stains on me, and I'm not saying they're anyone's fault but my own. I'm responsible for my life, but it's like, and you don't want to like feed the thing that sucks, and I don't want to speak about people who aren't here. I don't want to like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You would want to do it in person.
And even if they say things about me, it's like, I don't even want to respond because that's not what I'm about anymore. I want to like tease each other and have fun. I don't want to like harbor resentment or anger or like so-and-so did this or they treated me like this or I don't, that doesn't feel aligned with who I am or what I want. I want to tease in a fun way that's like moves things forward.
We came out of the age of actual censorship, of actually saying people being like, you can't say that, you can't say that. And now this like red pill age where like most of the country is like these red pilled Republican people. Now we're in the age of self censorship. You know what I mean?
I can only go off my own feelings because I'm the only one that's felt. But
you can't even tell your feelings. You can't even say how you feel about something now without, it being picked apart and being like, oh, well, she feels like this because of this.
Well, the thing is, when I say nothing, it leaves people to kind of figure out their.
Exactly.
I honestly just don't want to speak poorly about people. I really don't. I don't like. I've had some relationships that have fallen apart. I don't want to talk about them because it's sad. I wanted those relationships to work. Like, it's like all I wanted was to make something work that didn't work. And it's a sad thing for me. And it's not a competitive thing. It's not a thing. I don't need to be right or wrong or like, I just want to like heal from like something that was very traumatic to me and really like disappointing. Like something that I really like, I fought for and wasn't able to be understood and heard through.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like you can't even express how you feel without it being talking poorly about someone. You know what I mean? Like if you came out and expressed how you feel about all these things, it would be taken as you were talking poorly on someone. And that would be taken as shit talking.
Well, everyone's going to be defensive, right? When you hear someone's talking about you on something, you're going to get defensive. And then you're going to go, well, that's not because everyone has different experiences of the same event because you're coming with a completely different thing. So it's like everyone has a different truth in these things. It's like it's the thing that Doug Stanhope put in his special that Roseanne Barr said to him, which is so funny that Roseanne said it. But she said, how are we supposed to do comedy when nobody can agree on the truth? But I think that goes for a lot of things. Like, how are we supposed to like get along when nobody can agree on what the truth is? Like, it's not like, that's why with the Blake Lively stuff and the Justin Baldoni stuff, it's the fact that they have all this evidence is so incredible because you so rarely have receipts like that. Yeah. And then it's like, I don't want to get into a fucking thing
where you're pulling out receipts.
Where I'm pulling out DMs and stuff. Like, I don't want that. And not because I'm like, look, I'm pretty open. Like, I've made like a lot of mistakes. I've grown so much. In the past 4 years, I have grown a lot. I've learned so much. Like, who I was at the beginning of the pandemic and who I am now are completely different people. And I'm excited to get even, better. And I will always like own up to when I fuck up. I used to get so angry all the time. I really don't get angry anymore. I just was I was on edge. I was really felt unheard and like just really not, like I had no creative control over things and stuff like that.
And you were treated poorly in a bunch of different ways, but it sucks.
For interpretation, I guess. Felt like that to me.
I mean, like, just because you have a personality type that does a good job I'll do this too, where like you can anything in this room could happen between you guys or the dog or whatever, and I could find a way to sit here and figure out how it was actually because of me.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know that it's easy to identify the dynamic of like what happened when you were young, and then like somehow I'll find a way to create that situation in my life. And it's like, I mean, like to give yourself some, it's like to find a way for ownership. Listen, like the monarchy, the way that things are, the kingship is like not perfect, right? Just because somebody's in power or like a team is in charge or everybody's under these secret social NDAs, it's like, it doesn't mean it's good or they're doing the right job. Nobody would argue you've done this in a very strange climate. Your entire career spanned over these different shifts in power. It's a weird time to talk publicly all the time. What I'm trying to do is go like, what if you've actually done about as good a job as could be? Who's been through and through more true to themselves at every turn enough to where you had to be like when you go, I haven't given myself space to think what I think or feel what I feel. It's like, yeah, somebody had to give it to you for you. And guess what you did? You stayed in that space and you just kept carving your own way. You just kept moving tickets. You still show up and make people laugh.
It's been fucking hard though. Like I don't want to cry because I'm not like a big, but it's been like, I just like.
Yeah,
and who's done it better?
It's just been like, so thank you for saying that. But it's like, it's just been like, I like to express myself. I like to tell like stories of things that went on in my life from my perspective. And I don't include names because it's not about the other person. I don't cast blame on other people. It's my experience, right? Like I'm seeing this world through my eyes. So I don't want to say people's names because then that becomes, it's like, it's not about them. I'm not here to like make other people wrong or like be a victim of people. It's like, I'm just trying to navigate like who I am. Like, I'm just a little autistic. I just kind of say things and I like that about myself. And even like when I first started dating Todd, he kind of helped me like rein in talking to strangers and stuff, but I'm like rejecting that. And I've been talking to a lot of strangers more. I like it. I like talking to people online.
And you know who else likes it is like millions of people.
Yeah.
And that's why your train moves no matter what you're in or out.
Okay, so this is a little old, like 3 weeks ago or a month ago, but, you know, I was in prison. I missed this. I wanted to talk about it. So she cried the whole time, by the way. She was talking about Khalyla, Kuhn, and Trash Tuesday. But she didn't really get to the point there. Apparently, creative control, she felt she had none. And she brought up the way she was treated and basically saying she doesn't want to name names and talk about what really happened because it would bring upon beef and stuff. So she talked vaguely about Khalyla. We all know who she's talking about, by the way. So, and that's the thing I don't get. If you're not going to talk about it, don't talk about it. If you're going to talk about it, get it all out there because we know who you're talking about. You left Trash Tuesday. When you did your whole little thing about why you left, I knew that was bullshit. I knew that you felt you weren't treated right by Khalyla. There's something about Esther and a goddamn pregnancy or something. But I mean, the dude is vague talking is annoying. And I don't know why she just doesn't come out and say all the truth. But what she said in what she said there gives you hints as to what was really going on. And there might have been some backlash behind the scenes with the shop thing, although I don't think they would care about that. I don't know, but let me know your thoughts in the comments.